So we've seen the report that was being leaked, and we've seen the new ugly trend that has been going on. And before we even start, so there's this saying that says, when the hunger hits home, morals goes out of the window, because hunger makes you blind to all else. And I think that's exactly what we're saying in this situation.
And again, hunger has no ears.
So it doesn't hear at all.
Nah.
All right. So generally now, what do we have to say about this recurring ugly trend that is going on right now? Let's start with Mr. Kage.
Okay. You see, when it comes to needs, according to I think Maslow, the first thing you need to satisfy is the stomach, because it is that stomach that will now give you energy to search for others according to that order: housing, health, education, clothing, and all that. But without that, honestly, you have no ears. Between you and me, I have been saying it severally, that what we are facing in this country is nothing other than the wickedness and connivance of our leaders in all ramifications now, not only political leaders, including traditional, religious, economic. And if you want me to break them down, I will break them down one after the other. They are connivance against the survival of the people, so that at any point in time they will have that control over the people. That is to say, our leaders are being both Machiavellian and Leninist. So not until when the people can see this clearly, that yes, we have no reason to be hungry. Listen to this. For goodness sake, what concerns me, I'm not to sell tubers of yam in Mile 12 or Oshodi market or whichever market, when my own father has a big plantation of yam. So what concerns me? If not because some uncles or aunties or whatever relations of my father are just trying to starve me so that I will not be able to claim my rights in my father's house. And I will explain.
All right.
What I'm saying is this: what concerns me with how they are selling crude oil in international markets, when we are having our own crude oil here, and when we are supposed to be having refineries working, and you're now saying the landing cost is this, for goodness sake, that is bullshit. It's bullshit. If our refineries are working, one. Two, if all those depots, we were having depots in this country before now, over 23 of them, differently located, in Ore, in Mosimi, in Ibadan, in Abapa. But now, where are also those depots? But let me just allow him to contribute. I will go ahead from there.
All right, so before Mr. Sunday says something, let's not forget, okay, for instance, the looting that took place in Abuja, the grains that were looted were actually for the people. You know, way back, the president had given directive for distribution of essential grains. So these grains were actually for the people. So it wasn't a situation of the government, you know, trying to keep food away from people. So I don't know, Mr. Sunday, how do you see this? Is it like more like a state of being impatient, or I don't know, probably you have a better word to describe the whole situation?
Well, I think the situation we are now is very fundamental, and the lesson from what you have cited is that there is an extent to which the government can take citizens for granted. Over the years, for decades, the Nigerian government have been taking Nigerian citizens for granted, taking them for a right. And each time they rise to make demand, either through protest or whatever, they roll out the military to say, okay, you know, crush them. Yeah. Now, this time, the military can crush hunger. You know, just like Awolowo said, he said that of all tyrannies known to man, that the tyranny of the flesh is the worst. You get it? The tyranny of the flesh. And hunger has to do with the flesh. And when it gets to the point that people, it becomes irresistible, people do the unexpected. And that is where we are now. Over the decades, Nigerians live outside the government. And that is one of the reasons why government, the political elite, they get away with any decision they take concerning the people. But for you to be a political leader, and you are taking a fundamental decision that touches directly on the life of citizens, you didn't check about the consequences. You didn't check on the post-policy outcome. You get it. And you have been doing very little to now get this, whatever you call the policy, to balance it in a way that people will not go through much hardship. Now you have a policy that inflicted hardship on citizens. And for 9 months, you did not find a solution to it. You are saying that those who are meant for the people, what are they still doing in the warehouse? And people are starving on the street. The government, for instance, increases during the time of price fixing regime. When they increase the pump price of petrol, within seconds, all over the country, it has been affected. But when they announce a reduction, they will not. It will take like 2-3 weeks. They will be telling you, "Oh, want to do this, want to adjust that, to get there." Okay. Now, when government want to make a decision, a policy decision, that will improve, that will in part of the way for the citizens, they will begin to set commission, set panels, set committees. They have to look into this, look into that. And people are dying on the street. So you say the government has ordered. Then why the delay?
Probably more like communication gap.
What communication gap?
I will never,
in a hungry situation.
I will never see that one as a communication gap, because we have seen such a thing happening in this country in the past. During COVID, I always call it COVID 419. And at that time, people were asking me why. I said, I am seeing what you are not seeing. Because all the palliatives being sent down here from, do you understand? They were being kept. Not until when Nigerians started looting the warehouses where those things were kept. Imagine seeing all those things in all those warehouses. If Nigerians are being able to have access to their various bank accounts, you see how much of our money are also kept in their bank accounts. So the issue is this. The issue is this. Here is a government coming in. You have never sat down with the stakeholders to know how much money, the volume of petrol that we consume, to be able to ascertain what the subsidy should be, to know whether yes, the subsidy we have been paying are fraudulent or not. 2, you never sat down to understand the policy of direct supply, direct purchase of NNPC. That anybody, the listeners can Google this, and then anybody who is having a different opinion for what I'm saying now can challenge me. It has no subsidy traces there. Go and Google it. Direct supply, direct purchase policy of NNPC. You will see there is nothing like subsidy there. Nothing like that. It's like I'm giving you a quantity of the steak refined for me, and the value of it is, assuming 100 naira. When you crack this in Mercury, you are still going to get some other residuals apart from petrol, apart from aviation fuel, apart from kerosene, apart from diesel. All those ones are still there. And I'll say, okay, out of all these, give me petrol, give me diesel or kerosene and all that, also worth 100 naira. To and fro, FOB. Tell me, where is the subsidy? Other than the storage that you are supposed to have, that you have now encouraged individuals to be building storage. Now you are now using their storage. So what is the significance of that money you pay for storage to what we are now paying? And National Assembly, this present National Assembly said, not only National Assembly, that when NNPC was even selling at 190 naira per litre, NNPC was making a gain of 100 naira per litre. So tell me, why are we buying a petrol for this? Because this is exactly what is affecting all the sectors of the economy, including food, including housing, including clothing. So not only that thing is adjusted accordingly. Honestly speaking, they see no nothing.
All right. So, Mr. Sunday, so do you agree that lack of trust could actually be part of the reasons why people are taking powers into their hands? I mean, just as he said, just as he said, looking at what happened during COVID-19 period, you know, the palliatives were there, but it didn't really get to the people, and people took power to their hands, you know, went out, got it for themselves, and we see that, you know, repeating itself again in this situation. So do you think all of this is due to lack of trust? I mean, the citizens not trusting the government to actually, because like I said earlier, these grains were actually for the citizens, but probably them not trusting that they would actually share or distribute it as they should, and then they decided to, you know, take power to their hands and get it for themselves.
Yeah, it goes beyond trust deficit.
Okay.
All right? It is more about deliberate negligence of citizens by the political elite, or just call it the elite, both in business and in politics, like he has just done a general classification. All right? By the elite, deliberate negligence of the people. Let's use hunger to put them under control, so that whenever we call, they will answer. Right? I do not see the action of the people as looting. You can't say you loot what belongs to you. Yes, they invaded the warehouse. Why? They took what belonged to them. That is their natural right, which nobody, you know, had the power to prevent them from. Right? So they went to invade the warehouse and take what belonged to to them. So I don't see it as looting. It's insulting to say that Nigerians are looting what you said you kept for them. The quick means you didn't keep it for them in the first instance. All right? So it's about deliberate negligence of citizens. And this has been going on for years. Okay? This has been going on for years. Like I said, you must be very careful when you are taking a fundamental decision that touches directly on the life of citizens. We have every cases of, they say they rig election, Nigerians just ignore. They say corruption, we don't take to the street. But on this very one, you created hunger. Nigerians must react in different ways, and you must be prepared to, to accept it.
Hungry man is an angry man.
Sure.
Hungry man is an angry man. Okay? So, and there is a level to which you can use force to suppress the people. It only works in the short run, not in the long run. Okay. And that is because these are the things we are saying coming up now. For now, we don't know the next stage.
Okay.
We pray it does not get to the next stage that we cannot even sleep in our homes.
All right. Okay, so Mr. Sunday is of the opinion that the looting is not a crime.
For me, it's
no, that particular scenario should not be seen as looting. That's what he said.
Okay, because I just wanted to draw attention to the fact. Now, this looting is not just the Abuja incident. Same thing happened in Niger State. I think same thing happened in Katsina. And those were individual. It wasn't government.
They are part of the elite. What are you talking? It's the business elite. It's the boss in the business. They are part of the elite. They are all, like he said they connive. Like you see,
let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. You see, the problem we are facing in Nigeria is nothing other than connivance of the leaders against the people. Who are those leaders? Political leaders. Political leaders by coming up with policies that are anti-people. Religious leaders by always telling the huge publication that you should respect the constituted authority, without telling you that that authority that you are expecting to has some kind of responsibilities for you, so that you can still subsume yourself under the sovereignty you have submitted to them. Tradition, in the sense that when they come to the village, the traditional leaders that are supposed to put them in check, they will still be saying Babake. I mean, how can you imagine a political leader telling an array of obas that they should stand up and greet him? Is that normal? If those obas have not eaten what they are not supposed to eat, you remember what happened to Bode Thomas now. Bode Thomas are that king from Oyo. You remember what happened to him? Just because he did not respect that Oba. History told us that. Do you understand? So what are economic leaders, by coming up with economic policies from their banks, all the money they charge you, when you say they will charge you, when you withdraw they will charge you, when they send you money they will charge you, when you use your PO, when you use your ATM you will be charged and all that. Are they not part of it? So it's a kind of a connivance. Then who do you report them to? The telecommunication sector, they will be deducting your money anyhow. You will buy data for 1 month. Within 1 week, they will say, yeah, you have finished it. Who do you report to? No, you see, you saw connivance there. And from there, they put themselves. Gandude's son now is now being drafted to as an executive director or whatever in a rural electrification something. Is it not what his father tells him that he will do? Is his father not a political leader? Do you understand? So not until when we can now solve this issue holistically. It's an holistic thing that needs to be looked at in totality for us to be able to get a pathway.
All right. In all honesty, looking at this looting issue, what those group of people took were materials, food items that were supposed to cover a large number of people. And again, at this point, we don't even know if the people who looted those items would actually sell them at the current high price that we have in the market right now. Or away from all of that, where do we go from here now? Because to be sincere, it's an ugly trend. It doesn't really put our country in a good picture out there, So where do we go?
The leaders, are they putting a good picture out there too?
Which is why this question is.
And that's why we now ask you an adage in Yoruba. Have you ever seen Mama village that is tendering goods before? Mama in the village that has a lot of goods. Whenever those goods are hungry, okay, Mama now traveled or went to the market. She forgot to give those goods food in the morning, in the afternoon. Now in the evening, she's now pursuing them. And you see the obey how the goats now got to a brick wall, nowhere to go again. What do you think will happen to that Mama? Oh, they will stampede that Mama. Do you understand? It's a Yoruba adage.
Alright, gentlemen, what's the way forward?
The only way forward is for this government to come up with policies that has human face. So where do you start from? Pump price of petrol has a big effect on all sectors of the economy. Bring it down. That's number one. Number two, some people who are mouthpiece, who are paid mouthpiece, have been talking. Our external, we have to go up because we are not producing. Look at them. We're having stay in Ibadan. We're having cocoa just in that place. We're having this. So because of that, I must go up. I now asked a question. What is it that Cotonou is producing that is making Cotonou's currency higher than that of Nigeria, having more value than that of Nigeria? What is it that is being produced in Ghana that is making their own currency having more value? Okay, that's the answer of the question. Now another aspect of the question that made some of them to now shut up totally was this. At a point, Naira got to close to 2,000,
1,900 something
to $1. Yeah. Then when they saw the way some of us were shouting, criticizing them, within 3 days, the thing came down to 1,004.
Yeah.
1,004. Excuse me. What did we produce within those 3 days that are followed that Naira? That is to tell you that the leg that is dancing on top of the water, there is something that is drumming for it. So because the issue now is there must be reduction in the truth gap between the leaders and the people. The moment Those two things are being done. Bridging that gap. There was a governor now that mentioned it. People need to release on there now. That the way we are deluding these people is even enough now. A governor said in this country that let us reduce this thing a little bit. That means they are purposefully tightening that belt. And somebody now said, please, relax now. My father will soon bring sukkah to you, this and that. And he is using wristwatch of how much? These are issues.
All right, let's have it.
So we have to look at it that way before we can move forward.
All right.
I think what we're experiencing now, it tells the elite that there is limit to which you can deceive the people. Let's tell them what they want to hear. I'll do what we want to do. That is one point. So let them put an end to deceit of Nigerian citizens. And they also put an end to neglect of citizens, especially their welfare. That's then the third one. Mr. President must have to sit and be a president. Okay, we cannot really say, okay, eliminate the issue that, there could be sabotage. Because those who benefit from the status quo ante will not want change to occur immediately and smoothly. So they always find a way to frustrate that change process. So we cannot eliminate that completely. So there will also be those that who are also there and say, this is it's not going to work. So we must bring it down. They are invisible somehow. Okay? You remember that time we had a report, EFCC and DSI shooting in Abuja, BDC and all that, went on gun operation to see how they can. That's a mechanical approach to the solution. Mr. President must also assert his authority and be prepared to commit class suicide. If he doesn't do that, it's not going to make any headway. We'll still be shouting and this will be going up front and back. He must be prepared to commit class suicide. I said it to them. Give this policy decision to a league like you or Singapore. By now the economy would have been working. Give it to that guy, that government in North Korea, Kim Jong-un. By now the decision would have made a headway. You cannot make a policy decision that that afflicts hardship on citizens and you allow that hardship to last for a long time. No, you must find a way to bring it to an end. Now those who are working to make the hardship last so long, deal with them and decisively. Then you will have your way. But the moment you begin to look, maybe you are thinking of second tenure, you are thinking of a next. You are not going to make any headway. So the president, if he's not ready to commit class suicide, that those who are sabotaging the economy has to be dealt with decisively, we are not going to get out of this. We'll just keep analyzing, and the problem will continue.
Right.
I disagree one second.
Okay.
Sir, the moment you are ready to commit class suicide, there is nothing like sabotage. Because those people will be crushed. So it is only when you are willing. It is only when you are willing. Then you are mentioning whatever in South Korea. It's too far. How about the present president of African Development Bank, Akinwumi?
Yeah.
Give presidency to Akinwumi. Somebody like that. Give it to him. You see what will happen, but anyway.
All right. I think at the end of the day, we are all saying the same thing, and we're really hoping that the government will really do something, because the desperation is getting so bad. People are hungry, and a hungry man's an angry man. So we really hope that.
As I'm hungry now, Seth.
Really hope that things don't get worse than the way it is right now. All right.